Okay, then facility location. The next decision related to network design. Sorry. The next decision related to network design is facility location. Okay, where should facilities be located? Say, for example, company is planning to have about 10 warehouses, okay, across country like India. So in which states and in which district, in which location exactly, okay, these warehouses should be located. Or for example, if a company is planning to have 4 manufacturing plants in India, okay, where these 4 manufacturing plants should be located, where they should start these factories. So this is a very crucial decision in network design. We all saw network is a collection of okay, warehouses of vendors of raw materials, then a collection of component manufacturing units and component warehouses, and assembly, collection of assembly plants, and okay, collection of plant warehouses, and outside the warehouse, outside the plant, okay, the number of warehouses where the finished goods will be stored so that the distributors or wholesalers orders can be immediately supplied throughout the country. So how many number of warehouses and where should be the location of each of the facility? I hope you are able to understand. Are you able to follow, students?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So please, I'm
Yes, sir.
explaining everything, but if I keep explaining repeatedly same things again and again, it will consume a lot of time. So you need to pick up little bit. I'm very slow actually. Then other decisions related to network design are capacity allocation. What should be the production capacity of each facility, or what should be the storage capacity of each warehouse? That again depends on demand. Please remember, demand in the region in which demand of the region which is allocated to the manufacturing plant or warehouse. Then market and supply allocation. Okay, so what market should each facility serve? Say if there are 4 factories in India, for example, okay, so from which factory, which districts or states should be supplied? So they are called as markets. Which supply sources should be fed each facility? So raw materials or spare parts coming from suppliers, which supplier should supply to which factories? Okay, so you should know all this always. These are the major decisions in network design. And next is a set of factors that can influence network design decisions. Okay, now I repeat again here. In the previous chapter also I told there are factors that influence a distribution network design, like response time, product variety. You can recall. Do you remember, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when question is asked in the examination, don't get confused. See, these are the set of
Returnability.
returnability. They are factors influencing distribution network design. These are the factors that are influencing network design. I hope we can differentiate, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do not confuse and answer for the other question. So the first factor is strategic. Okay, so whether the supply chain should be efficient or responsive, whether the supply chain should be efficient or responsive. For example, Walmart's supply chain is efficient, means a low cost, whereas Dell's supply chain is responsive. Okay, so depending on whether the supply chain should be low cost or faster, accordingly you need to have the production location of the production capacity. Say for example, if you need to have a efficient supply chain, means low cost, a company can have few centralized warehouses, okay, where the inventory will be held centrally and they earn economies of scale, okay, as well as the inventory level will be low, inventory carrying cost will be lower. Okay, but from warehouse, fewer warehouses to supply to the customer or to the distributor, it will take long time. So it will be slow. It will be not very responsive. But if you have more number of warehouses closer to the customer, okay, but more number of warehouses means higher level of inventory. So cost will increase, but faster deliveries are possible because more number of warehouses means more closer to the market. Then a technological factor. Okay, technological factor. Okay, so it is basically one more important criteria or factor that influences network design is technology. Okay, so if you can recall the video which we were watching, so one of the executives of chief information officer, CIO. Okay, so what he said before 10 years before, okay, we couldn't do it what we are doing today. Okay, handling about 2 million means 20 lakh packages in a overnight. Okay, so he mentioned that is possible because of the technology present today. I hope we can recall that. Okay, so similarly, Texas Instruments is a company that manufactures semiconductors. Okay, so what they do is uh, expensive and important components they manufacture centrally. Okay, and low cost. Okay, and standard uh, components. Okay, so they maintain in a large number of warehouses closer to the customer as they are standard and the demand is high. Okay, so for them, so for high technology products, they maintain central warehouse. Okay, then macroeconomic factors like tariffs and tax incentives. Okay, say for example, if you can understand those who read newspaper regularly, okay, many states like Andhra Pradesh, for example, Karnataka, for example, I saw Punjab, for example, okay, they give 1 page, 2 page ads attracting the investors to their states so that companies can come to their states and start manufacturing plants. Okay, and for which they announce some uh, tax incentives, some infrastructure, some facilities, okay, and so on. So that is the reason why these are called the macroeconomic factors. So where you want to start your facility, for example, manufacturing plant. What are the tariffs in Andhra Pradesh? What are the tariffs in or tax incentives in Punjab, Karnataka, Goa? They're different. So they also have an influence on the location of the facilities. And then exchange rate. So if it's a multinational company, okay, who has facilities across different continents or countries, again in which continent and which country, okay, that depends upon, okay, exchange rates as well as the tariffs and tax incentives in each of the country. So all these factors are taken into account while making the network design decisions. What are the network design decisions? Location of the facility, capacity of the facility, which market should be supplied from which facility. Okay, so anyway, we have an illustration. You will actually visualize what we are actually learning. Then other factors include political factor. Basically, we are talking about political stability. Okay, so because when, especially for a foreign multinational company which is planning to enter into another country, okay, so one political party ideology may be different from the other political party ideology. So, for example, socialist government and capitalist government. So, capitalist government, okay, usually favors, okay, makes policies that are favorable for business, okay, people or business houses. Socialist governments generally form policies that benefit general public. Okay, so if the political situation is highly unstable, okay, then companies do not prefer to start a facility in those countries because when government changes, the other company may not prefer them. Then infrastructure, yeah, definitely yes. Okay, to start a manufacturing plant, what all you need? You need a raw material closer to the factory. You need skilled labor. You need electricity. You need land, water, and so on. So that is also considered. Then most of the Middle East countries, if you consider, though they are very rich, many of these countries are very rich, but manufacturing rarely happens in Middle East countries because of two reasons. One is the lack of availability of raw materials, and second is lack of skilled labor because most of the people are rich over there and the labor goes from India, Pakistan, Bangla, and other countries. Okay, so they most of the items are imported and distributed in Middle East countries, especially rich countries I'm talking, like UAE, Saudi Arabia, and so on. Then customer response time. Okay, say if customer response time is very critical. Okay, say for example, for a company like Amazon or Flipkart. So if customers prefer faster delivery, then they should have more number of warehouses closer to the market. It is quite obvious. Okay, then logistics and facility costs. Okay, so if they have 4 factories, okay, for example, say one in Delhi, one in Bombay, one in Chennai, and one in, okay, Kerala, for example, let us consider. So what are going to be the total logistics and facility costs? What if they change the location of these facilities? So before actually they make a decision, these all alternatives are considered, huh? And cost is analyzed. What should be the cost of having facility in different locations? So based on these factors, this way, a company makes a network design decisions. What are the decisions they make based on these factors? What should be the location of the facility? What should be the capacity of the facility? And which markets should be allocated to which facilities? Okay. So anyway, as I said, we have illustration. You can actually visually watch. Okay. It's not a video, but it's an illustration. You can understand very clearly. Yeah, related to those factors, what we can see here is how customer response time influences network design decisions. Okay, so what you can see here along the y-axis, it is the cost. Okay, goes on increasing along y-axis, low to high. And along x-axis, you have response time, that is the time taken to fulfill a customer order. Okay, so from low or low time to high time, less time to more time. Okay. So as you see here, so this is the more time is taken to deliver a customer order. So as the response time decreases, means as the delivery time decreases, what you can see here, the cost of that faster delivery goes on increasing.
Increases.
Very good, excellent. That is the reason why we saw an example of Amazon for 5 to 7 days standard delivery, they don't charge any shipping charges. But if you want to deliver within 3 days, okay, $5 they charge. If you want to deliver within 2 days, $10 they charge. If you want to delivery within very next day, they charge some $20 or $30. I hope you can recall. Okay. So that is how we can understand how these factors influence network design decisions. Okay, then related curve is as the response time decreases, the number of facilities increases. See, this is related to the previous graph. Huh? Remember, as the response time decreases, means time taken to deliver a customer order decreases, means if when the company is able to deliver a customer order very faster, okay, it results in increase in cost. Why the cost increases? Okay, is explained here. What you can see, because if you want to decrease the response time, here now on the y-axis we have response time low to high. Okay, and here on the x-axis we have number of facilities. You know what is a facility? A manufacturing plant or a warehouse. So from less number of facilities to more number of facilities towards this. So as you can see, okay, as the response time decreases, the number of facilities goes on increasing, because the company will, instead of 6, the company will have 12 warehouses, each more closer to market. Okay, and the number of time taken to deliver a product will be lesser. As I told you the example of Honda Motors, okay, in America, they have their facilities, more number of smaller capacity facilities located closer to market, and it takes only 7 days for Honda cars to reach from factory to dealer showroom. Whereas for other American companies, it takes 14 days from car factory to reach dealer showroom. Okay, so as the number of facilities increases, the cost increases. Okay, that is how these factors influence network design decisions. Okay, so once again, so we learn how as the response time decreases, how the number of facilities increase, that which results in increase in cost. So I have an illustration here. Okay, so I hope we can make out this map is of which country? Any student? This map is of which country?
USA.
Okay, very good. Okay, United States of America, and these all are, okay, it's called USA, United States of America, and these are the states in North America. Okay, so like Washington, Oregon, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, okay, or Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, as you can see, North Carolina, Virginia, okay, and New York, and so on. Okay, now where inventory needs to be for a 1 week order response time. So where a company plans to fulfill a customer order or make a home delivery within 7 days. Okay, anywhere in North America, they just need to have one warehouse. Okay, they just need to have one warehouse or one distribution center. And what you can see, these light blue color squares are customers located across North America, and a blue square is distribution center or warehouse, location of the warehouse. So with one distribution center or warehouse in this location, okay, so what exactly you can make out is that is okay, Iowa or Illinois, exactly Iowa or Illinois. With one warehouse, the company will be able to deliver an order within 7 days to only these states in America. There is a circle here. Now if the company plans to deliver the order, okay, if the company plans to deliver the order within 5 days, okay, anywhere in North America, they need to have two distribution centers or two warehouses. Okay, so one in Pennsylvania or Ohio, okay, and the other one, okay, in this state. Let us see which is the state. This is California. Okay, we are talking about location of the warehouses to deliver a parcel or order within 5 days anywhere in North America. So what you can see, when only one warehouse is there, the company would deliver the order within 7 days to a limited market. Now with the two warehouses, the company could deliver the order much faster within 5 days. So let us see how the number of facilities increase as the response time goes on decreasing, or you need more number of warehouses to make a faster delivery. So if the company wants to deliver the order within 3 days, the company needs to have 5 warehouses or 5 distribution centers at each of these locations. And these yellow circles are nothing but, so from this warehouse, okay, the company will be able to deliver the order within 3 days into this geographical area or this market. Okay, and with this Californian warehouse, the company will be able to deliver the product, okay, or order within 3 days within this market. So this market is allocated to this warehouse. So that is what we spoke about, location of the facility and allocation of markets to facility. Then if the order has to be delivered next day, the company needs to have 13 warehouses at these respective locations in North America. And if the company needs to make the delivery within the same day or next day, so you can consider within 24 hours. If the company wants to make the home delivery within 24 hours, they should have 26 distribution centers. And these are the locations of the 26 distribution centers in across North America. Okay, so this is the illustration of how those factors influence network design decisions. Network design decisions are nothing but location of the facilities and allocation of markets to each facility. Okay, so any questions? Any questions here? I don't know how it is visible on your mobile phone. Is it clear for you? Is it covers
Yes, sir.
everything?
Yes, sir.
But the
Yes, sir.
screen will be smaller, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, not a problem. Now related to this, there are a couple of slides. Okay, so I'll discuss. So what we have learned so far, costs and number of facilities. So as, okay, the number of facility increases, the cost increases, and also as the number of facilities increase, the inventory also goes on increasing. Okay, but as the number of facilities goes on increasing, the transportation cost goes on decreasing, because from each warehouse the market will be much closer, remember that. But only up to a point, only up to this point. As the number of facilities goes on increasing, up to this point the transportation cost will go on decreasing. But beyond this point, if the company increases the number of facilities, it further increases the number of transportation cost as well, because each truck that is leaving the warehouse and traveling towards the customer will not be full truckload. It will carry a smaller orders, and the transportation cost per unit will be much more higher, and which again increases overall costs. Okay, so facilities also. Okay, so as the number of facilities increases, the okay direct relation, there is no problem. It is quite simple. As the number of facilities goes on increasing, the facilities cost also goes on increasing, because cost of land, building, cost of constructing a plant, number of employees you need to hire, technology, okay, everything, power consumption. Okay, so as the number of facilities increases, the facility cost goes on increasing. Okay, so that's all about factors influencing, okay, network design decisions. I'll pause here for a minute or two. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can ask me, or if you have not understood any part of it, I can explain once again. Okay, you can think for a minute or two. Okay, I'll just make stop the share here just for a minute, just to check the recording. Okay, yeah, just let me save this previous recording. Okay, so I hope all of you receive the notification every time I share a new resources in the Google Classroom. Every time do you receive the notification?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
I hope means you have
Yes,
access to.
sir.
Yes, thank you for your response. I hope you have access to all the video classes which I have shared, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I will continue with this slide, and I will watch the video, okay, at the end. So I hope you can see the PowerPoint slide again.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now let us learn the framework for global network design decisions. Okay, so for a multinational company like Walmart, for example, okay, or Unilever Limited, for example, or Sony Corporation, for example, okay. So how a network design decisions are made. Same will also be illustrated as I mentioned using an Excel sheet, but it is a screenshot. So basically there are 4 phases involved in designing a global network, okay, for a multinational company. Phase 1 includes determining the stages in supply chain, that is supplier, manufacturer, distributor, retailer, and customer, whatever stages are there in supply chain, and in-house or outsource decisions to be made. Then phase 2 includes identifying regions, geographical regions where facilities will be located, and what should be the role of each facility, and what should be the capacity of each facility. Phase 3 includes the decisions on selecting a set of desirable potential sites within each region. Phase 2, regions are identified, say a continent, for example, okay, and then you need to select a particular country, and in a country, particular state, district, and a particular site to start your warehouse or your manufacturing plant. And there are certain models which are used at this stage at phase 3, which we are going to learn also. Then phase 4 includes selecting a precise location and a capacity allocation for each facility, also deciding about market allocation to that facility. Okay, so we are going to learn them a little bit in detail now. Yeah, so phase 1, okay, as we considered, so I have numbered them, the decisions that are taken in phase 1 of global network design. So phase 1 includes supply chain design, okay, which include the decisions like competitive strategy of the company. I have explained you, remember, competitive strategy of Domino's and Pizza Hut, how they differ. Competitive strategy of Dell and HP, how they differ. I have told you competitive strategy of Walmart and Amazon.com. Okay, so what should be the competitive strategy of the company? Okay, then the company also has to consider global competition, because the network design is for a global market, not for just one country. Okay, then internal constraints of the company, like capital, whether the what is the availability of capital within the company, how much access the company has for capital from other sources, and what is the existing network. If the company is already functioning, then definitely the company need to consider the existing network of its own company. So these are the factors that will affect the design of supply chain. So decisions are taken with respect to these three components in phase one. Then in phase two, okay, the company goes ahead with assessing or forecasting regional demand. Okay, region depends. For a multinational company, it can consider like each continent as one region, like Europe, then Africa, Asia, okay, like that. Okay, or it can go based on a country wise also. So what is the demand for their company product in a particular region? What is the size of the total demand? At what rate the demand is growing annually? So what is the similarity? Okay, then what are the local specifications? So company will already have certain products. So what are the similar customer needs? To what extent the product should remain same, and to what extent the product should be modified to meet the local specifications? So these factors are studied about in phase two. Then along with that, production technologies. Okay, so what type of technology should be used in the particular region? What should be its cost? Because in different country, for example, the level of technology used by customers in India and America is quite different. The level of technology used by a small scale industry in India and America is quite different. I hope you can understand. So what is the cost of availing the technology in the region? What should be the scale or scope and the impact of the technology on the business? Okay, and what is the support required for production, and how flexible the production capacity should be. Then what are the political risks, whether the political situation is stable or unstable, what is the exchange rate fluctuation, okay, and what is the fluctuation in demand. So these factors in the region are studied. Then along with that, okay, 3 4 tariffs and tax incentives in the region. Say if a region like Asia is considered, then there are different countries, okay, like in South Asia, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangla, Nepal are there, okay, and the tax incentives and the tariffs are different in each country. If you consider East Asia, there are countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, okay, and the tax and tariff incentives are quite different over there. So those are considered. Then finally, the competitive environment in the region. So all related to region, based on which the company makes a decision for the regional facility and configuration. Means what should be the location in which country. If I considering a continent like Asia, in which country, okay, the company should start its facility, and what should be the role of the facility. Then in phase four, say, let us say the company decides now India is becoming one among the favorable destination to start manufacturing plants in South Asia. Okay, so which we read, but nothing happened again later. Okay, but let us consider the company is interested in starting a manufacturing plant in India, for example. So desirable sites in India. India is a huge country. Where in India you want to start the plant? In which state? Which district? What should be the specific site? Okay, where you need to have the soft infrastructure like skilled labor, for example, and hard infrastructure like land, water, electricity, and so on. Okay, based on that, the company decides on desirable sites. There are certain models which are going to learn how to use them to choose a desirable site for facility. And phase four deals with location choices. Okay, so what are the factors? Okay, like labor cost, material cost related to specific sites within the same state or same country, for example, and logistics cost. Okay, like how closer it is to supplier of raw materials, or how closer it is to market. So depending on that, they estimate transportation cost, inventory carrying cost, and coordination cost, based on which they make a final decision on the location of the facility. Okay, so any questions here? I'll pause here again. So this is again one part or one topic of the chapter, a framework for global network design decisions. The next part is quite interesting. So we are going to learn, okay, in phase 2, how network optimization models are utilized. Okay. Okay, anybody who is not able to understand any part of it, you can ask. Or you want to share some information, you can share. You are most welcome. Anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, that's okay. Then let me continue. Models for facility location and capacity allocation. So how to select the ideal location for a facility in a region, and how to allocate a production capacity or storage capacity to each facility. Okay. The goal when locating facilities and allocating capacity is profitability of supply chain and customer responsiveness. Yes, the facility location and capacity allocation decision should be made in such a way which results in profit for the company or profit for the supply chain. Okay, but also at the same time ensuring sufficient customer responsiveness. So the network design models are used in two situations to ensure profitability of the supply chain and customer responsiveness. To decide on locations, network design models are used to decide on locations where facility should be established. A location means geographical area, specific site or place, and capacity to be assigned to each facility. And second situation is to assign current demand to available facilities. It is like market allocation, from which factory which market should be supplied, and identify lanes along which product will be transported. Okay, so we have network optimization models that are used in phase 2 to allocate demand to production facilities, or to allocate market to production facilities, and locate facilities, identify a particular geographical area for starting facilities, and allocating production capacity to that facility. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn through an illustration. Okay. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll stop the meeting here. You can take a break of let us say it is 10:15. Okay, not exactly 10:15, 10:17. So you can take a break of about 7 minutes. Okay, yeah, I will start the class at 10:25. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
So all the
Yes,
because,
sir.
yeah, 38 students were there. Now there are only 32 students. So please, all 32 of you join back the class. 10:25 sharp. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank
Sir.
you.
Okay,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, I need to give the attendance, sir.
I will mark it here. Okay.
Sir, Ashutosh also present, sir.
Ashutosh and
Rahul, sir.
Rahul. Ashutosh and Rahul. Yeah, I will mark. Anybody
Yes,
else?
Sir.
Okay, sir.
Apeksha.
Thank you.
Sir, Nishad.
Nishad.
Sir.
Yeah, Nishad. Okay. 3 students I'll mark. You can tell me
Apeksha.
again. Apeksha also. 4 students total. Okay. I'll mark the attendance.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well.